Greetings, everybody. My name is the Void King, Michael McCraven. And today, oh boy, this interesting-looking individual here is one many of you may have seen in a viral video involving conservative commentator by the name of Ben Shapiro. Ben, though I'm only really a viewer of him, not really a fan or a detractor of his. I like some of the stuff he says. I think some of the stuff he says is interesting. I do not agree with him or disagree with him. I just simply find him interesting. Simple point. However, he had to deal with two pricks within a Young America's Foundation, or YAF for that. And it involved one of them shouting out, "Fuck you," at the top of their lungs. To which I like Ben Shapiro's reaction to that. Okay, first, fuck you ain't an argument. Second, no thanks. It's hilarious. And quite frankly, I find it fun. Or funny. Yeah, brain. However, during the Q&A section, this is where the second instance comes from this gentleman right here. From this gentleman right down here. And heaven help me, this is why I think humanity's plagued by stupid. Or just disingenuous. Or both. However, this gentleman goes off to list 2-3 different achievements in his personal frickin' mind, all fictitious, by the way, as I came to find out earlier. In this video he made called "I'm Not Sorry, Ben Shapiro." You know, this guy had, some dumb shit, but nevertheless, let's get on with it.
My name is Quentin Merritt, and I just roasted Ben Shapiro. But
while also making yourself look stupid in the process, your point being.
Before I get into the reasoning behind my actions, I'm going to give you some back.
I will warn you all right now, this may contain a lot of stupidity and dipshittery. And also, my victim card. So, you've been warned, and he's also going to make this story as unbelievable as possible. And if you see him looking to the right, it's obviously scripted.
Background about my experience at the event. I went with a friend, and we strolled.
I should just let him play through this, just so you could see what he says.
The campus to get to the gym, waited patiently in line, shuffled through security, all to get to the biggest and most controversial event of our time in college.
Notice how he said controversial. Not everybody thinks he's controversial. Most people find him interesting. I certainly do. I don't see one thing that is controversial unless you're on Twitter 24/7.
Ben Shapiro at UNCG. And as we walk down the stairs and try to squeeze into our seats and settle in for the event, we hear someone yell, "I fucking hate minorities." Just
one, if they said that, shame on them. Two, if they didn't, I swear to God, if you're lying to me, you're a dumbass.
like that. My friend and I immediately looked at one another with shock. Him wide-eyed, looking at my black skin.
Yeah, he brings race into this multiple times. Point being, moving on.
And me uncomfortably staring at his brown skin against the sea of white faces that surrounded us. I mean, that was to be expected, given Ben Shapiro's demographic.
Ben Shapiro's demographic. Let's see. People who either A, find him interesting or fans of his. Could be multiple different ethnic backgrounds and shit like that. We don't know. Though, can I what I can tell is most of it is made up by the hysterical media.
But what I did not expect was the lack of response to the hateful statement that resounded in my ears.
Okay, one, the rewind back to when I said that it may be faked, and if so, shame on him. Shame on the guy that made the video. However, if it's true and nobody did that, probably because the event either had the blatant fuck you to Ben Shapiro, in which he stated, one, that's not an argument, second, no thanks.
No one batted an eye or turned their head except for us. The lack of
Which to me sounds like you made it up.
care by the people who surrounded me, most of whom shared the same views as Ben Shapiro, stirred a fire within me. And that's when I made.
Most of them either A, have different views, most of which rather tame. But you were the one that had to sound stupid in order to basically just do what you do best and make yourself look dumb. Don't know if you did it because you wanted the attention or the clicks, or just to think you got a one up on a guy who can literally just fling a hilariously derailing one liner to you and go about his day. Anyhow,
I made my decision. I posted to my Snapchat story and I said that I was going to heckle him. And when they asked audience members to go down for questions, I went down there with that in mind.
so you went down there with making yourself look stupid in mind. Okay.
On my way up there, I asked myself, well, what does Ben Shapiro do? He uses his influence as a political commentator and touts his credentials from his Harvard law degree to give himself the credibility to speak on issues that he's not qualified to speak about.
The whole idea of because you're not in this field, you're not qualified to talk about it. A perfect way of silencing those you disagree with. Merit. That's why we do not have arguments based on merit. That's why we do not have our debates based on merit. You fucking jobber.
So I did the exact same thing. And for those of you on the internet saying that there's no way that I possibly won this prestigious award, I'm sorry to tell you that you're wrong.
If you sit there and say, here we go again, back to those prestigious shit.
It's true. I was awarded the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship, and I'm a double major in mathematics and physics. This is what black excellence looks like.
No, it doesn't. Looking stupid does not help. It instead continues to push a stupid look for people like you. Trust me. Not all people think alike. Shit, I should know. I'm put it this way. The way that people tend to think about people like me are either the ones with the severe crippling, side of the autism spectrum, which cannot speak or has really slow motor functions and stuff like that. I'm the highest functioning form of autism, which used to be called Asperger's syndrome. For you to sit there and call yourself excellence is of that particular type is stupid, and nobody should be listening to you. Because I could think of far better examples than you. Hate to point this out, buddy, but you're not special.
Sadly, I do have to agree with one point that Ben made about me. He's right. I'm not a biologist. And that's the point. Neither is he. So in reality, the people in that audience should be listening to neither of us, regardless of our personal accolades or achievements, and should actually listen to the biologists and psychologists doing.
Yes, but every time I hear somebody make a argument on science that's from the right, they they basically state just do your own research. People on the same side as you say don't do the research. You're basically saying what those media jackasses didn't don't want. You told people to do the research. The news won't like you for that, obviously.
The real research in these areas. And the research comes to an undeniable consensus that being transgender is not a pathology, it is not a disease.
There's a difference between disease and disorder. You fucking dolt. A big fucking difference. A disease is something like cancer, AIDS, HIV, STDs, stuff like that. Those are diseases. Hell, that's in the name of STD. Sexually transmitted disease. You fucking moron. You absolute loon.
It is literally just a different way of being a human being.
This is such a puerile and faulty attempt of a man who's got no self-esteem in his private life and then has to go and make himself this big freaking character on the interwebs and in the public eye to then something subsidize his lack of being a genuine human fucking being. But at this point, activists aren't trying to act like human fucking beings. They're trying to act like moral betters. And at this point, I'm not buying it.
So, again, I'm going to be very clear. I'm not sorry about what I said to Ben Shapiro. However,
Let's see. From the stating accolades and then sitting there saying, oh, well, you're using the fucking... I don't know what he exactly said. I need to probably rewatch that entire debacle, but I'm going to be honest. What you were sitting there saying went from, oh, I corrected him on something that he didn't even fucking state, to literal high school, college level insults that are done by stupid fucking teenagers. Not smart people, stupid fucking teenagers. Literal frat boy logic. You idiot!
I do want to apologize for the sexist language that I used. Back in 2020, Ben Shapiro spoke on his
Whoop-de-doo, I do not care.
podcast about the song WAP by Cardi B, where he was right.
Which, the way he characterized that, in my mind, borders on cringe with a hint of fact. But once you get done with your whole spiel, allow me to explain.
Rightfully mocked by the internet for awkwardly rapping her verses.
Yeah, I do admit that it was pretty cringe. He can't rap for shit. He ain't Eminem. I'm gonna be honest. Cardi B can't do it either because, let's face it, it sounds to me like she's a copycat Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is better at it.
Then he took to Twitter and said, also, as I discussed in the show, my only real concern is that the women involved, who apparently require a bucket and a mop, get the medical care that they require.
A joke. A literal fucking joke.
My doctor wife's differential diagnosis, bacterial vaginosis, yeast infection, or trichomoniasis. And what that basically means is that he's equivocating the physical attributes of female sexual arousal with disease.
It was a goddamn fucking tongue-on-cheek joke. That's it. Where's the vodka?
Again, Twitter rightfully dragged him for this, for being so painfully unaware of the biology of cisgender women. This
Shut the fuck up. You're causing me to lose brain cells at an accelerated rate, and that goes to say because I really didn't have any to begin with.
then begs the question, are we really going to trust someone like that to even attempt to try to tell us about the biology of transness? When I
And can we trust somebody like you to explain this shit?
got up there, I brought up the content of that tweet because I knew it would hit him where it hurt and cause his past experience on Twitter to resurface. Why, you ask? Well, I again must be clear. Ben Shapiro and I don't have a difference of opinion. The hateful and transphobic rhetoric that Ben Shapiro spews has the ability to do real and tangible harm to people in the transgender community, because he has the platform to reach the people who write the policies and laws that might end up restricting the rights of trans people.
So... And don't sit there and say you're holding the fucking high ground. Don't you fucking dare. Because I've seen some pretty shitty people that act like this is supposed to be helpful, and you are one of them. Either sit there and continue babbling on your stupidity to get clowned on by the internet, which, by the way, let's harp on that fact, shall we? I'll take things that didn't happen for 500, Alex. Calling yourself a mathematician slash physicist as an undergrad is like calling yourself a spec ops in boot camp. Don't pretend. Here's another one. I'm a mathematician and a physicist. I'm also a doctor, chemist, and NASA worker, IT worker, and a biologist. Hilarious. The lad pescator. This kid also won the most cringe wannabe victim award of 2022 to go with his prestigious participation trophy. And remember, just because you take a math class doesn't make you a mathematician. So what's good, bro? Imagine coming out of the conversation thinking you won the debate. In reality, you embarrass yourself and the institution that gave you an aware and the institution. I think you meant award, Mara. Good on you though for trying to at least keep the, text consistent with spelling. Sorry, became a grammar Nazi again. My bad. And the institution that is giving you a degree, but once again, you don't live in reality. You live in fantasy land, much like those who think men can be women and women can be men. A fellow of your particular ethnic persuasion. Imagine. Oh wait, no, my brain. As a fellow black man, hear my advice. Please don't do that again. Also, whoever wrote that script did you dirty. Ask them for a refund. Brother to whatever damn gender you are. Damn. Dude, your NSF award is given to almost 20% of applicants. The real requirement is that you are enrolled in a graduate STEM program. Beyond that, it's all arbitrary. Your double major is... I don't get it. I suck at pronunciation, so pardon me. Laudable. Your intolerance and hatred are not. This dude is a walking example of everyone gets a trophy. Alex Mitchell, you have to achieve something in the real world to call yourself a mathematician and a physicist. Studying subjects makes you a student. This is a perfect blend of cynical narcissism, dumb and woke. Just a sampler plate of the worst of all the worst qualities. So basically an anchovy plate. This is comedy gold. Dude basically roasted himself and calls it a victory. So brave and stunning, but this accomplished mathematician and physicist enjoys the smell of his own farts. Clown emoji. Anyways, back to the cancer.
As a black person and a queer person, I had to call on the experience of the people who questioned injustice and fought for change before me. The majority black and brown queer people at Stonewall didn't lay down and just take the abuse of their oppressors. Neither did the organizers and allies at the...
I want you to know that was full outrage in its finest moments.
March on Washington. Marginalized people should not be expected to be docile or respectful to the individuals aiming to reverse the progress we have fought so hard to gain.
Actually, I'll do you one better. And I'm not saying this because I really want it to happen. I'm hoping to God it doesn't. But how about this? Every institution fits no one. Nobody. Not you, not me, not anybody. Nobody. And say, the government can take the rights of everybody away. Because at this point, you seriously need a fucking hard lesson in reality. Thank you.
Rather, we must be bold and speak out and find ways to dismantle oppression by any means necessary.
Which means violence, too. Yeah, I've been seeing that shit.
And if engaging with Ben Shapiro is the avenue that I had to take to fight injustice and...
Hey, at least you didn't go straight into violence. Really, college-level insults isn't so bad. Violence, on the other hand, then we would have had a problem.
Spread this message, then it was well worth it. Black power, brown power, queer power, trans power.
How about no power? Literally nobody would. Nobody want... How about this? We don't want power. We just want to be treated as human. Because at the end of the day, all you really want is more power. More power to shut down speeches that you deem that you do not like. Deplatforming people you do not like. Removing people you do not like. You would I'm betting you, this motherfucker would want people that he disagrees with sent to firing squads, because that is the true mindset of a dumbass, naive son of a bitch like him.
Remember, there is no liberation for any of us marginalized people if there's only liberation for one of us. We must work together if we're going to achieve an equitable society for all of us. Thank you so much for your time.
My time is wasted on brain activity 0. Fucking goddamn it. Kill me. Well, that's it for the video. I'm gonna go drink now. Here's to my brain cells. Hope they fully recover for next time. See ya.